Okay, welcome back. So for this deep dive, we're looking at a specific text called racismincanada.txt.
That's right.
And our sort of mission here is to really unpack the perspective it offers on racism in Canada, especially how it portrays the experience for African immigrants.
And it starts with a pretty striking image, doesn't it? The source describes racism right off the bat as being like a cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And crucially, it says it's often hidden.
Hidden. Yeah, that's a powerful word choice there. And the source ties that directly to the experience of newcomers, claiming African immigrants often arrive um, completely clueless about this hidden aspect it describes.
Right, clueless. So you have this idea presented, a hidden problem, and people arriving unaware. It kind of sets the stage,
Right.
makes you ask, how does this play out over time according to this source?
Well, that's the next point the source gets into the timeline. It suggests it's not a quick realization. It actually claims it takes African immigrants years to really recognize and accept that what they're facing is racism.
Yeah, years, not weeks or months. That extended period is really central to the source's argument here.
Definitely.
So what does the text say happens because of that delay? What's the consequence of it taking years?
This is probably the most impactful claim in the text. It states that this realization, this acceptance, often only comes after they have, and this is a direct quote from the source, wasted most of their prime years.
Wow. Wasted most of their prime years, that phrase. I mean, it really carries a heavy implication in the source's narrative.
It does.
It's suggesting, isn't it, that the combination of being unaware initially, plus those years it takes to figure things out, well, it costs people valuable time, crucial time, right, in what the source calls their prime years.
Exactly. It links the hidden nature and the unawareness directly to this loss of time. So the core argument that this specific text is putting forward is racism in Canada is presented as hidden. African immigrants arrive clueless. It then takes them years to realize it's racism.
Mm-hmm.
And the big consequence, recognizing this only after they've wasted, as the source puts it, most of their prime years. It's a very specific chain of events described here.
It really is. And it's a perspective that heavily emphasizes the impact of, well, something being hard to see, hard to name, and taking a long time to acknowledge. The focus on the timing aspect and linking it to wasted prime years is, I think, what makes this particular source's account quite distinct.
Absolutely. So just to quickly recap the main points from this source, it describes racism in Canada as a hidden cancer. It claims African immigrants arrive initially clueless.
Mm-hmm.
It says it takes years for them to identify their experiences as racism. And the major consequence highlighted is this happening only after, quote, wasted most of their prime years.
Yeah, it paints a pretty stark picture. And, just thinking about the claims presented in this text, especially that idea of hiddenness and the long delay,
Right.
it leaves you with a couple of potent questions to ponder, based purely on this source material. Like, what are the deeper implications if something like racism is hidden for years, as this text claims? How does that shape the whole experience?
And that other phrase, too.
Exactly. What does wasted prime years actually imply, according to the source's logic? What opportunities, what development, what potential does it suggest is lost during that long period of unawareness it describes? Something to think about.